He was charming, he was handsome. He had an aura that drew people in, making them feel at ease. He was every mother's dream for their daughter, the kind of man who seemed to have it all together. Ted Bundy was the epitome of normal, blending seamlessly into society. But beneath the surface, a darkness festered, hidden from the world. Born Theodore Robert Cowell, his early life hinted at the monster he would become, though few noticed the signs. Abandoned by his father and misled about his parentage, Bundy grew up in a loving home, yet something was amiss. Yet a darkness lurked within him, a sinister force that would eventually surface. Stories of animal cruelty and voyeurism marked his adolescence, early indicators of his twisted nature. These behaviors were a glimpse into the future horrors he would unleash upon the world. Charming and charismatic, Bundy excelled in social situations, effortlessly winning people over. He was a law student, ambitious and driven, with a promising future ahead, a volunteer at a suicide hotline, even a political campaigner. He wore many masks. He used this carefully crafted persona to disarm his victims, making them feel safe. Behind the mask of normalcy, a predator was learning, perfecting his methods. He honed his skills of manipulation, carefully crafting the facade that allowed him to operate undetected, a master of deception, a terrifying example of how evil can hide in plain sight, lurking where you least expect it. The exact number of his victims remains a mystery, a chilling testament to the depths of his depravity. Bundy's reign of terror began in the early 1970s, shrouded in secrecy and deceit. His modus operandi was consistent. He often preyed on young women, often luring them with carefully constructed ruses. A feigned injury, a request for help, all part of his deadly charade. His crimes escalated. From assaults to abductions, his brutality knew no bounds. He would often revisit his victims, posing as a concerned citizen or even a law enforcement officer. The disappearances left communities terrified. The authorities were baffled, struggling to connect the dots in what seemed like random acts of violence. But Bundy was always one step ahead, leaving a trail of devastation in his wake. What drove a seemingly normal man to commit such heinous acts? The question continues to fascinate and horrify. Experts have spent decades trying to unravel the enigma that was Ted Bundy's mind. Some point to his troubled childhood, the abandonment and the lies as the root of his rage. Others focus on his pathological need for control, a desire fueled by a deep-seated insecurity. Bundy himself offered conflicting accounts, often blaming pornography and alcohol for his actions. Yet these explanations ring hollow, failing to fully encompass the calculated nature of his crimes. His intelligence and charisma, once tools of deception, make his descent into darkness even more perplexing. Ted Bundy remains a chilling reminder that evil can wear many faces, lurking beneath the surface of normalcy. As the body count rose, so did Bundy's confidence. He became more emboldened with each passing day, feeling invincible in his dark pursuits. He reveled in the fear, the notoriety. The terror he instilled in his victims and the public only fueled his twisted sense of power. He moved across state lines, leaving a trail of broken lives in his wake. Each new location brought fresh victims and more devastation. His crimes became more brazen. He no longer feared getting caught, believing he was always one step ahead of the law. He no longer relied solely on trickery, sometimes resorting to brute force. His methods grew increasingly violent and unpredictable. He would often dispose of his victims in remote locations, making their discovery even more difficult. These isolated areas became his dumping grounds. The authorities were finally starting to connect the dots. Each clue brought them closer to understanding the true extent of his crimes. Witnesses came forward describing a man matching Bundy's description. Their testimonies painted a chilling picture of the predator. Composite sketches were released, putting a face to the monster that had haunted their nightmares. The public's fear turned into a desperate need for justice, but Bundy was a master manipulator. He knew how to play with people's emotions, twisting their pain to his advantage. He even wrote letters to the families of his victims, toying with their emotions, reveling in the pain he inflicted. His cruelty knew no bounds. He was a predator who thrived on the hunt, and the chase was far from over. The authorities knew they had to stop him before he struck again. The trial of Ted Bundy captivated the nation. Cameras crowded the courtroom, capturing every detail of the proceedings. Bundy, now acting as his own attorney, seemed to relish the attention. He used the trial as a platform, attempting to charm the jury and the public with his intelligence and charisma. He cross-examined witnesses, argued legal technicalities, all while maintaining an air of innocence. But the evidence against him was overwhelming. Eyewitness accounts, physical evidence, and even his own words painted a damning picture. The prosecution meticulously presented their case, dismantling Bundy's facade piece by piece. Despite his attempts at manipulation, the jury found Bundy guilty on multiple counts of murder. He was sentenced to death, a victory for justice, but one that came with a heavy price. Even behind bars, Bundy continued to fascinate and horrify the public with his chilling demeanor and calculated actions. He granted numerous interviews, claiming to offer insights into the twisted mind of a serial killer, drawing both media and public attention. But his motives remained shrouded in mystery, a mix of half-truths and outright lies, leaving everyone questioning his true intentions. In a desperate attempt to delay his execution, Bundy confessed to several more murders, hoping to buy more time. He provided chilling details, hoping to bargain for his life, describing the gruesome acts with a disturbing calmness. But his confessions were often vague and contradictory, leaving more questions than answers, frustrating investigators and families alike. Some believed he was sincere, seeking redemption in his final days, trying to make amends for his horrific crimes. Others saw it as a final act of manipulation, a desperate attempt to control the narrative one last time, showcasing his cunning nature. Bundy's confessions provided some closure for families of his victims, but his true motives died with him, leaving a trail of unanswered questions. He remained an enigma to the end, a testament to the dark potential that lies within the human heart, forever haunting the annals of criminal history. On January 24, 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in Florida's electric chair. The execution was met with cheers and celebrations from crowds gathered outside the prison. For many, it marked the end of a nightmare. Bundy's death sparked a national conversation about the death penalty, the nature of evil, and the dangers of charisma. His case highlighted the importance of vigilance, of recognizing the warning signs of predatory behavior. But his legacy extends far beyond the courtroom. Bundy's crimes inspired countless books, documentaries, and fictionalized accounts. He became a cultural icon, a symbol of evil and manipulation. His story serves as a chilling reminder that monsters rarely announce themselves. They hide in plain sight, wearing masks of normalcy, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Even decades after his death, Ted Bundy continues to fascinate and horrify. His case raises more questions than it answers. What drove a seemingly normal man to commit such unspeakable acts? How many victims were there truly? What were his true motivations? The answers, like Bundy himself, remain elusive. His story serves as a stark reminder of the darkness that lurks within humanity. It is a reminder to be vigilant, to trust our instincts, and to never underestimate the power of evil. If you found this exploration of Ted Bundy's chilling story insightful, subscribe to our channel for more captivating true crime documentaries. Delve into the darkest corners of the human psyche and uncover the stories that continue to haunt our world.